Let's make some noise. Come on.
Yes, Nick Foles. Let's make some noise indeed. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to a Sunday, a rarity, a Sunday edition of The Final Word with MattyB here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. I'm going to hope this is another step in the right direction of getting back to 5 days a week. It's been a hot minute since we did a Sunday show, and I do realize that. Do with the post games and the post games, and did I mention the post games? This was really tough, but the window is broke, the storm is broke, whatever, and we're able to get back here on Sunday night. And going forward, and I'd like to sit here and tell you that June, July, and August are going to be hunky-dory months of 5 days a week broadcasting. They're not. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be a lot of obligations on me throughout the summer, but we're going to try to get at least three in a week. That's my goal. At a minimum, 3. Obviously, 5 is the goal, but 3 at the minimum a week. So tonight, tomorrow, and Tuesday, we will be here. Wednesday, I have post-game obligations. And then Thursday, we have a big day of sort of housekeeping programming going on. So you'll get me tonight, tomorrow, and Tuesday. So I'm glad to be back. And it's great to be here. It's great to be here on a Sunday friggin' night, man. God, feels like forever. Oh, thank you, Elephant. I appreciate that. Playing around with some new stuff. I think I dropped a new song today onto Philly AM show or AM sports program this morning. I didn't tell him, but I think he liked it. I haven't heard anything, so I'm going to assume he liked it. But yeah, we're playing around with some things. I got my allowance this week, so I spent it on some production upgrades for the network. So we're moving onward and upward. But so tonight, I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to start. Joe, what's up, man? I feel so out of the net and out of the loop. I haven't even had a chance to go over the Eagles schedule. The thing came out Thursday, and this is Sunday. Am I the last person in the free world who's had the opportunity to sit down and kind of go over this thing with people? Because I have not done it yet. So we're going to get MattyB's take on the 2026 Eagles schedule. And wins and losses, I don't know. I don't know if that's even accurate. We could play, and maybe we'll play play with that a little bit. I'll see where we all stand on some of the games. But it's so difficult to see who's going to win these games. The NFL is the league of parity. That has definitely taught us over the last couple of years. What was true in 2025 may not be true in 2026. It sure as hell wasn't the same way in 2025 versus 24. Things were different. So the league being the parity that it is, it's really hard to sit down here in friggin' May and talk about, hell, it's hard to sit down in August and talk about who might win these games because you just don't know. But we'll have some fun with that. We'll get into some of the nuances of the schedule. And yeah, well, we'll play around with it. The unofficial predictions, I guess. The unofficial. I don't make my actual predictions till August timeframe, late August timeframe. But we'll play around. Will the phone lines be open tonight? They will, Joe. I'll get them open. The Phillies are in the news as they continue their roll back to relevancy. 24-23 now, 1 game over 500. I had the pleasure of doing the post-game show earlier. And through 19 games, they are 15-4 under Don Mattingly. Through 28 games, they were 9-19 under Rob Thompson. And now we can start. Actually, there's 2 schools of thought here. There's a school of thought that says, let sleeping dogs lie. Rob Thompson's gone. It doesn't matter. We don't have to sort of dissect the scene of that crime anymore because it's over. And there's also the school of thought, where I come from, is complete transparency. I want to know why this team struggles so heavily and mightily under Rob Thompson and has excelled under Don Mattingly. And not just in the wins and losses, but in the subcategories, in the substat world. I made a comparison today. In 28 games under Rob Thompson, the Eagles committed 19 errors. In 19 games under Don Mattingly, they've committed 4. I mean, that's night and day. Extreme night and day. Right? I mean, that doesn't you just don't turn that switch on and off. Or do you? I believe the run differential when Rob Thompson got fired, they were negative 56, or they were being outscored by 56 runs in total. I think it's down to like 17. I mean, they're still being outscored in runs by the season standpoint, but it's down to like 17 runs. I mean, this stuff doesn't just flip the script, or does it? So we'll get into some of that. The other night segment is back tonight as well. We'll break down our latest MLB draft target, our latest NHL draft target, our Phillies prospect as well. No card tonight. I didn't get around to doing that. Ran out of time. I was playing around on the internet all day. So we'll definitely get into the other night segment. As we're getting closer, these drafts are actually bearing down on us, man. I mean, we got about another month or so, 4.5 weeks before the NHL draft. Then you got, maybe it's about 5 weeks. Yeah, it's early July. Yeah, about 5 weeks. And then the MLB draft, of course, is around the All-Star break. So I'm running out of time, and I still have a buttload of these players to go through. And I got to get them all done before the draft. Joe says, so with Matty, he's on the field coaching the guys on defense. Joe, he's coaching Bryce Harper on first base. I don't see him running too many double play drills with the shortstops and second baseman, nor do I see him in the outfield doing relay throws and, talking about angles of running the ball down. I mean, yes, he has done some, and matter of fact, he was doing on-field stuff to Bryce Harper back in spring training. That's never stopped. It's something that he started as their bench coach. That's not why this is the way it is. Come on, Joe. You're a smart guy. But I'm not going to shoot the Don Mattingly effect, obviously. But I think it's deeper, and I think it's been talked about. We talked about it on the postgame show. I think it's a deeper reason, and I think it's startling, and I think it's somewhat eye-opening when it comes to this baseball team and what they did. But yeah, I mean, I saw Don Mattingly. Yeah, but he's a first baseman, man. Of course, he's going to be out there taking infield with first base. Ricky, what is up, man? So we'll get into all that stuff, Joe. We'll talk about it. But before we do, let's remind everybody, here's what's in store this week. As I mentioned, tonight, which is not pictured here, but that's Sunday, I will be, you had me, you had the post game, and you also had the Philly AM Sports. Tomorrow, you get the Phillies Reds post game, and I'm back. Wednesday or Tuesday, it's the Gridiron Weekly, Phillies Reds post game, me. Wednesday, the Pittsburgh Sports Desk and Phillies Reds post game. Interesting day Thursday. Circle Thursday on your calendars. Birds Blast with Kyle Quinn returns at 4 p.m. on Thursday afternoon. Kyle will join me, and we'll do our mid-off-season check-in show, talk about free agency as it's been, all the changes, the draft, maybe even cut up the schedule a bit as we prepare for the stretch run to the season. And that'll be a 4. Then I'll be back again at 7 with Mike Laro as we'll wrap up, clear the ice, put a bow on the 24-20 or 25-26 Flyer season. I don't want to put a bow on the 24-25 season. Friday, you got the Philly Friday Frenzy and the Fightins Final all in one. Best of It's a Wrap Sports and Phillies Guardians postgame. And then Sunday, we do it all over again. And as you can see, I'm back next Sunday, Memorial Day weekend, next weekend. So make sure you're staying tuned to everything that's going on here on the network. And here is your Fightins Final Reds lineup. As it is, get it up here. Well, it's not doing that. As soon as it pops up, I'll show you. I notice Harper is up. He's playing really well. Ricky says, go Phillies. It's weird seeing a Google graphic there, Ricky. There it is. There's the Reds lineup for the Fightins Final. Mike Laurel on Monday. Big Al will have you on Tuesday, and I will have you on Wednesday. And that is our Fightins Final lineup for this week. I may even play you the commercial that we debuted earlier today. It's not a shot. Well, it is a shot. It's a complete shot at Big Al, but it's not brought on by anything he said. But we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary with the It's a Wrap Sports. Well, maybe not the It's a Wrap Sports, but because I think it was EOP when we started it. But MattyB's relationship with Big Al's Excuse Emporium. You guys remember we started it. It was in June of 2024. Phillies were coming off their London series against the Mets. And then I think the next series was against Boston. And they lost like 2 out of 3. And I was driving home from work one night, actually, and I was listening to Al do the Fightins final, and he was on about how the Phillies are just road weary. They're tired. They want to go home. They miss their moms. And that got me thinking about what can I do to fire back at the biggest homer take I've ever heard in my entire life. So we came up with the Big Al's Excuse Emporium. And over the last 2 years, it'll be 2 years in June, it's grown expeditiously and it's become its own thing. Of course, all in love, it's all in love and whatever. But to honor Big Al's Excuse Emporium on its 2-year anniversary, that's coming up soon with me. I guess it'll be our 1-year anniversary on this network, but 2 years with me, we created a commercial to remind people what Big Al's Excuse Emporium is all about. Again, this is all in love and and respect. So I guess without further ado, I'll play it now. I played it earlier on the Phillies postgame show, but we'll play it now to pay homage to Big Al's Excuse Emporium.
Live from South Philly, where every loss has a reason, every collapse has an explanation, and every quarterback is still elite. Welcome to Big Al's Excuse Emporium on the It's a Rap Sports Network. Woo! Sunday meltdown, phones blowing up, birds lose again, but they still show love. Too much snow, refs were bad, coordinator change made the whole team sad. 3 and out, but they scream relax. Defense cook, man, just watch the stats. Quarterback misses wide open throws, bro, he's top 5, everybody knows. Green Kool-Aid overflowing tonight, every excuse ready left and right. No accountability in sight, just turn the mic up loud. Welcome to Big Al's Excuse Emporium, where the blame gets flipped around. If the season crashes burning down, they'll still defend the hometown. Big Al's Excuse Emporium, fresh excuses every week. Need more weapons, need more luck. Next year's when we peak. Penalty flags all over the screen. Doesn't matter, bro, we're still elite team. 7 losses after 4-0. Just a phase, man. Trust the flow. Talk radio, chaos, everybody yelling. Post-game space is absolutely melting. Big Al laughing with a cheesesteak plate, selling playoff dreams at a discount rate. No excuses? We don't do that here. Need another reason? Aisle 5. Quarterback debate? Aisle 6. Blame the weather? Aisle 7. Coaching staff collapse special? 2, 4, 1. Welcome to Big Al's Excuse Emporium on the It's a Rap Sports Network show, where every bad throw gets defended and the standards stay real low. Big Al's Excuse Emporium, South Philly's loudest sound. If the team keeps falling apart, we'll still say, run it back. Next round. You've been listening to Big Al's Excuse Emporium, only on the It's a Rap Sports Network, where excuses are always in stock. Live from
Yeah. So that was Big Al's Excuse Emporium. Courtesy of the people over at Big Al's Excuse Emporium. Again, it's all done in fun. Well, yeah, that was it's to pay honor to him, for 2 years. 2 years of a relationship that has grown with him and his people down there. I've sent them a lot of business over the years. So I want to send out a special message of love to everybody down at Big Al's Excuse Emporium from MattyB. So thank you. Thank you. Hey, Mike, what's going on? Well, I appreciate that. I mean, listen, if you can't laugh at somebody else, what can you do? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyway. So that's what's going on in the network. And there's the Fighting Spinal. Clear the Ice, as I said, it will be on Thursday night at 7, as me and Mike will put on the final touches of the 25-26 season. I guess if Mike is feeling better. I hope you are, man. Hope you're feeling better by Thursday. Because we gotta get that bow wrapped up, and the Flyers are on the table again tonight. Alexei Kovalev re-signed with the team, which is a very interesting move for me. I don't really understand it. I do understand it, but it resignates a bigger problem. What's in the development of Carson Bjornsson, I'm a little reticent to understand why they would re-sign Kovalev, but he is the first Flyer to re-sign with the team. So, but with the Flyers are on the table, we could talk about the mock trades too. I took a lot of heat for these trades. I only showed you the one, right? I showed you this one. I showed you the Toronto deal. Konechny, Risto, the Flyers' first round pick in 2027, which is not the Flyers pick, but the Maple Leafs pick that the Flyers acquired in the Scott Laughton trade last year. Well, all that goes back to Toronto for Austin Matthews and Josh McCabe, a right-handed defenseman that could quarterback our power play. Now, I get it. These are my John LeClair trades, right? And I know Konechny has a no-move clause in his contract for the first 6 years. I understand that. But Travis Konechny could waive it. He could say, yes, I'll accept that trade. But if you're looking for a complete remake of the organization, I honestly think this is a really good trade for both the Flyers and the Maple Leafs. Because essentially the Maple Leafs are getting their first round pick back that they gave the Flyers. They're also getting, in essence, a draft pick in Ristolainen because he'll be a free agent at the end of next season. So you could flip him at the deadline for a second round pick. And you would have a guy in Konechny that would replace Austin Matthews as, at least for the near term, as your face of the franchise. So I think this trade does the Flyers really good, does the Maple Leafs good. I don't know how Konechny would take that, but because he'd be going literally back into the pit of rebuild. And again, I know he has to waive his trade clause, but I never said these trades were grounded in any sort of reality, right? I'm just saying what I would do if I was Danny B, what I would be trying to do. So that was one of them. We'll get into the other one tonight too. I'll bring up the other one a little bit later, and we'll talk that trade. 10 o'clock as always, Ricky. Always at 10. Always at 10. So let's get things going on the program tonight. Our day in Philadelphia sports history. Again, brought to you by the good folks over at Big Al's Excuse Emporium. All right, where the excuses are always in stock. And that's one good thing about Big Al's Excuse Emporium, because the excuses never run out. And there he is again. Maybe we'll play the commercial at the end again. But that's what tonight's show is sponsored by. And on this day in 1941, happy Connie Mack Day. Did you know this? I did not know this till today. So on this day in 1941 at Shibe Park in Philadelphia, and again, I was not present. I wasn't on my way to the European Theater of Operation or the Pacific Theater of Operation and sort of checking this out on the way out of town. This didn't happen to me. But on this day at Shibe Park in Philadelphia, the state of Pennsylvania declared a new legal holiday to honor the longtime Philadelphia A's manager / owner. The captain celebration in Shibe Park was supposed to be renamed Connie Mack Stadium, but Mack refused the honor out of respect for Benjamin Shibe, Mack's original partner with the A's. Inevitably, though, Shibe Park did become Connie Mack on February 13th, 1953, 3 years after the grand old man of baseball retired from managing. So I guess on the books, it's a legal holiday in the state of Pennsylvania and in the county of Philadelphia. Happy Connie Mack Day, everybody. From all of us here at the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Happy Connie Mack Day. And that was your day in Philadelphia sports history. Again, brought to you by the great folks over at Big Al's Excuse Emporium. And those of us here at let's give Al some more love on the Philly Friday Frenzy. Al comes on with you every Friday night at 9. Actually, he's been coming on earlier than that because he's leading himself into the Fighting's final, doing like 3 hours worth of work on Friday nights for me. And what better way to repay that than to completely mock him with the Big Al's Excuse Emporium commercial. I know how to reach humans, man. I'm a people person. But thank you for all that work that they do that. Matt, is the Phillies lineup out? What, for tomorrow? No, Ricky. No. I don't know if the Phillies are back in town yet, nor do I think the Reds are. No, not yet, man. Pump your brakes, my man. They'll get it out. We could go over what you think the lineup will be because it's probably going to be the same thing that's been. But no, it's not out yet. But anyway, let's get into the Eagles schedule because I do feel like I'm like the last one to the party here. On Thursday, the Eagles schedule came out. And there's been some really mixed bag of emotions when it comes to this thing. And there it is. It is glory here. And I also did this. I spent a lot of work. I spent a lot of time in front of a computer. Too much. But I worked on this. Obviously stole Al's design concept from a couple years ago when we were in EOP. But that's okay. All's fair in love and war. But anyway, this is the schedule. The season will start for the Eagles on September 13th. Divisionally, that's on the road, right? No, at home against the Washington Commanders. I was sitting in the car on Thursday getting ready to do a game, and it was like 30 degrees outside and raining. And they were talking about, I was wondering because I had just got out of my day job and I was on my way to my game. And I was like, you know what? Has the schedule been released yet? It was like 4:00 in the afternoon. And then I saw, I'm like, God damn, 8:00 release? The hell? Why does everything got to be an event? Anyway, so as I was sitting in the car, I was thinking about possible home or opening games. And the Commanders was actually one of the game that I really thought that it could be. They are on a tear, Star Wars. I really thought this could have been the home opener or the opening game of the season. Now, I maybe envisioned it being on the road instead of at home, but the Commanders were an opponent that I had an epiphany on Thursday afternoon that, you know what, it could very well happen. But a very interesting game. I'm not a favor of opening up the season against a divisional rival because there's so much at stake at such a infancy part of the season. I mean, you don't know what any of these teams are going to be. It's going to take these teams 4 weeks because of the way they treat preseason, which is a joke, to kind of bang the rust off. And then you put yourself in a position right out the chute, right out the gate, to go 3 games down in your division because you're looking at it like this. You got if you lose to the Redskins or Commanders, that's a divisional loss, a conference loss, and it's a tiebreaker situation. I mean, there's a lot at stake. I wasn't a big fan of them opening up last year at home against Dallas. I thought that was a mistake. I much would have preferred maybe a home game against Pittsburgh to open the season or Indianapolis. One of those, nondescript kind of games to get the season going instead of coming right out the gates against a divisional opponent. But it is what it is, and I'll take it. Now, the question I want to have for the general public, because we're going to do this kind of by game. Do the Eagles win this game? Taking into account, let's use history as our guide. Last year, they struggled out the gate against the Cowboys. The Cowboys should have won that game on home opener. That fumble down by the goal line at the end of the game was really a costly move for the Cowboys, and it was literally the game. But, I mean, do the Eagles come out with a new offensive coordinator, a whole new offensive package, a whole new wide receiver crew, and could they feasibly lose this game? And could Washington come in here with no pressure, playing on house money because, once again, they're back down, and no one's looking at them again. So they're walking in completely anonymously with a lot to prove. Do the Commanders come out the gate and surprise the Eagles in week 1? I don't think it's against the realm of a possibility to happen. I really don't. So I'm going to say, for the sake of S&G, they do. I'm going to give the Commanders the win here. I don't know how this Eagle offense is going to be with Sean Mannion and West Coast timing, going it down the middle, getting the ball out in under 3 seconds, reading defenses, going through your checkdowns quickly. I don't know how that's going to be right out the gate, especially when you don't have any game speed practice reps and Jalen Hurts coming out literally from the very beginning. I'm going to say the Commanders sneak a win here. Again, this is the unofficial projections. Then I got week 2, going to Tennessee. There ain't no way in hell they lose this game. I mean, no. They might as well just play Vanderbilt. It'd probably be a more competitive game. So you give me the Eagles with a win all day long. And then you got back-to-back road games. Then you're going to Chicago on Monday Night Football. Now, there's one good thing going for the Eagles in this game. You're not dealing with the elements at this point unless it's going to rain, but it ain't going to be cold. But again, I can see the Eagles losing this game. I could feasibly see the Philadelphia Eagles starting the season out 1-2. I really can. You know, the Bears had the Eagles sort of guessing all that game last year. I'm not a big fan of their quarterback. What the hell is his name? Isn't it Williams? Not a big fan of the quarterback. Huge fan of the coach. Not a big fan of the quarterback. So that'll keep them in the game. But I could see the Bears stealing this one as well. Then you come home against the Rams. So I got 1-2, right? I'm going with 1-2. Then you come home against the Rams. 4-0. Last 4 games against the Rams. Took 2 blocked field goals last year to beat them. You know what? I'll err on the side of caution. I say the Eagles win this game. I say the Eagles come in pissed off, and they win this game because they got off to that 1-3 start or 1-2 start. I say they pull back to 500, 2-2 with the win against the Rams. Then it's a game where all bets are off in Jacksonville and London on the 11th. But I'm going to err on the side of caution on this one as well. I'm going to give the game to the Eagles. So I got 3-2. But now we get into this weird kind of phase of the schedule. So they're going to go to London and then have to play literally a week later against a Carolina Panther team that's coming off the bye. The Panthers will be coming off the bye on October 18th, playing the Eagles who have not had a bye yet and are just coming back from London. I think Carolina steals this game at home. And that's when the faithful start to really get concerned. That's when I'm going to start hearing it from everybody. And that's when MattyB plunges into action because you know me. Whenever I start hearing the homers whine, it's time. I smell blood in the water myself. But I think that Carolina game could start this.
You're listening to the It's a Wrap Sports Network, where every loss has an excuse. Hit the music. Birds lose Sunday, blame the refs again. Quarterback throws ducks, bro, he's still a 10. Phillies strand 12, wind was blowing weird. Flyers lose by 5, rebuild year, rebuild year. Every caller screaming through the radio line, next year's our year. For the 15th time, green jerseys crying while they sip that tea. Excuse factory working overtime on TV. It's the weather, it's the turf, it's the schedule. Someone got hurt. Never blame the team, never blame the play. Just spit another excuse all day. Hey! Why? Philadelphia Homer fans online, crying every season, every loss, every time. We would've won it. Yeah, here comes the line. Why? Excuse machine running overtime on the It's a Wrap Sports Network tonight. Everybody's right, except reality. Hurts needs weapons. He's elite, don't ask. Throws for 120. Pro stats don't matter fast. Fire the coach, no way. Keep the guy. Monday morning expertise. records always testify. Feel his bullpen melts in the middle of July. Caller says, relax, man, the vibes are high. Flyers lose again, just trust the process. 20 years later, still kind of progress. Excuse, excuse. Every loss got an alibi. Excuse, excuse. Never let the truth get by. Blame the umps, blame the snow, blame the league, blame the show. It's a wrap, turn it up. Philly meltdowns in a Why? South Philly tears mixed with online pride. Every season ends the very same way every time. Why? Still yelling dynasty in decline. It's a Rap Sports Network live tonight, where excuses shine brighter than the scoreboard lights.
Thanks for listening to the It's a Rap Sports Network. Tomorrow's topic: why it's everybody else's fault again. Laughter.
So that's what I think happens after that Carolina game. I think that's a real bad game for the Eagles, and I think they go to 2-3. Then that sets up the Monday nighter right before Halloween in Dallas, or home against Dallas. They must win this game. They cannot lose another divisional game if they come out the gate losing against the Commanders. They have to win this game, and I think they do. I think they win this game, and they get people back on board, as they should, and they also pull to 3-3. So I got them 3-3 through the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or I got them 3-4, sorry, through the first 7. 3-4 through the first 7. Then I think they go down down to Washington, and I think they beat them. I do. 4-4. Then we got the Giants at home. This has got another trap game written over for me because they are going to be road weary. They're going to be tired. I mean, who knows what the state of the team will be physically at this point. Also, who knows what the state of the Giants will be at this point. But I think, yeah, I'll give this game to the Eagles. 5-4. Come home. Have the bye week. Then we got the Steelers coming out the bye. There's no way they're going to lose that game. 6-4. But then they're going to go down to Dallas, and they're going to ruin everyone's Thanksgiving and go 6-5. 7-5 with the win in Arizona. 8-5 the following week, beating Indy. And then they lose basically the next 3. I got them losing at home against Seattle. I got them losing at home on Christmas Eve to the Texans. And then I got them going out and losing on the road to San Francisco. And then whatever would happen, depending on where the two states of the teams are at that point, if the Eagles are still in the playoff hunt, I don't know. I really can't attest to what that Giant game will be. But the season for me is going to come down to the Seattle Seahawks, Houston Texan 49er gauntlet. That is the season. That's the crux of the season. That's where the season is going to swing one way or the other. I think they can be 8-5 heading into those games, but what's going to happen to them in those games is really going to determine their season. Could they go 8-8? Yeah. Could they also spring off 3 straight wins there? They could. But the season to me boils down to those 3 games: Seattle, Houston, and on the road against the 49ers. That is the season for me. And how they do there will determine how they finish up 2026. So there you go. So 8-8 right now with an unofficial 8-8 with I don't know that last game. I don't really know what the team will look like then, or what the Giants will look like. So I don't know. To me, I'm 13 wins. What the hell sees 13 wins? I don't see 13 wins in this schedule. There's no way. Do you know how intense? Listen, they got a lot of back-to-backs at home, which is great to see. I mean, last year they didn't have any. They got the extra home game, and it's awesome that Jacksonville game in London is not going to be a home game. It's going to count as a road game. So they're going to have their friendly confines. But, boy, they get no rest. I mean, they're constantly playing, and they're going all over the place to do it. And they're playing on some of the weirdest days of the year. They're playing on Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve. Who in the NFL office in New York thought it would be a great idea to have a Christmas Eve game kickoff at 8:15 at night? Who is that? Obviously, that person doesn't have kids to think that was a good idea. 5 o'clock, yeah. 3 o'clock, absolutely. But 8 o'clock at night on Christmas Eve, you want to have a game? That's tone deaf, man. That's tone deaf to the people that are employed by the NFL. There's tone deaf to these teams. It's a money grab. It's terrible. It's terrible business. I think the NFL should be ashamed of themselves for that. But it's going to be a very important game for the Eagles. So 8-8 with a question mark with that last Giants game is my unofficial pickup. My unofficial breakdown of this schedule. Very unofficial. Again, it's May. Things could change. So hope you like that. I'm sure most of you did not. Yes, I can, and I did. It's already up there. It's been up there for going on 5 days. Oh, did you like that song? We will open the phone lines. Give me a break. Lemon will have growing pain. Lemon, I don't know if he's going to have growing pains. I mean, this kid's a bona fide NFL player. But as we all know, in the world of the wide receiver, it takes two to tango. I don't know if Lemon's the one's going to have the growing pains more than Jalen Hurts is the one's going to have the growing pains. Everyone's looking past this whole Mannion thing like this is a great thing. Everyone is looking past it. Sean Mannion is trying to instill a professional, innovative, 21st century offense. Is the quarterback capable of running an offense like that? Time will tell. He sure as hell struggled with other offenses the last 5 years. All right, and now we're going to ask him to throw the ball to the middle of the field, which he doesn't do with great confidence or success. We're going to ask him to be a timing quarterback. Jalen Hurts. So Jalen Hurts all of a sudden is going to go from a guy who holds on to the football way too long, a guy that struggles in reading defenses, a guy who struggles with his progressions in one season, one off season, he's going to turn into a West Coast machining quarterback. So I don't think it's Lemon that's going to have the growing pain. I think it's Jalen Hurts is going to have the growing pain. Now, could he succeed? Of course. Of course he could. But right now, if you're asking me in May, I see 8-8 with a big question mark for that Giants game because I don't know what the Giants are going to be. And obviously, but yes, I don't think they make the playoffs right now. I don't think I'm going to the playoffs. And Star Wars agrees with me. No playoffs. All right, let's get Joe off my back. I will open up the phone lines. You guys know the drill. You can click the link. It'll bring you backstage, and I'll put you on. So the phone lines are open. Come one, come all. Let's get back to some of these comments. I skipped over Star Wars. Christopher Sanchez is absolutely right there with Paul Skeens and Tariq Skubal for the title, the best pitcher in baseball. And I'm tired of pretending like he's not. I disagree. Well, Tariq Skubal's season's over. He's going to be gone for like 3 months. I don't even think he's going to be in the mix at all. Sanchez, I guess, you know what the first question I want to ask is, what do you mean by the best pitcher in baseball? Are you saying per Cy Young Award type best pitcher in baseball or just like the best pitcher in baseball? Is that I need to know, I need to clarify, Star Wars, what you mean by that. Are you saying like a bona fide Cy Young Award candidate? He is a bona fide Cy Young Award candidate, absolutely. But he's, the beginning of the season, he struggled, man. Those first couple starts weren't good at all. And sometimes those are the starts that sort of separate you from, even though he might lock it down from here on out, and he probably will. But those early starts that were struggles, they're the ones that typically come into the play and hurt you at the end. Cy Young. Okay. I mean, when was the last Phillies pitcher to win the Cy Young Award? Was it Holiday? Did he win one? I know Hamels never won one. Did he? The last Phillies pitcher that I remember that won was in '87 with Steve Bedrosian out of the bullpen. I don't remember. I don't know who the last Phillies pitcher. I don't remember who that was. That's because of Rob. You're blaming Rob Thompson for Chris Sanchez's early start? Come on, man. What do you mean by that? I don't understand that. I mean, what did he throw him out there on like less than 5 days of rest? Elephant says Holiday. Did he win like in 2010? I don't remember. I know before that it was Bedrosian out of the bullpen. I do remember that. I don't blame it. Rob Thompson's fault. Come on. Rob Thompson did not cause Chris Sanchez to struggle in any of those starts. But before I go to the phones, I do want to bring up a couple of points about the Phillies. Again, we talked about this at the top of the show. 28 games, Rob Thompson, 9-19. 19 games, Don Mattingly, 15-4. Thompson's Phillies committed 19 errors, and the Mattingly's Phillies have committed 4. That's an amazing, amazing turnaround. In 28 games, Rob Thompson's Phillies stole 14 bases. In 19 games, Don Mattingly's Phillies have stolen 16. 16. Home runs, which is actually comparable. Rob Thompson's Phillies hit 30 home runs. That was the one thing they were doing consistently all year, hitting home runs. In those losses, in that 10-game losing streak, that 9-19 start, the Phillies hit 30 home runs. And through 19 games, they've hit 27. So they continue to hit home runs. Rob Thompson's Phillies scored 102 runs in 28 games. They gave up 156 runs. Don Mattingly's Phillies have scored 96 runs and given up 59. The Phillies for the season have scored 198 runs and they've given up 215. So the run differential is about 17. It was like around 56 back when they cut and bumped Rob Thompson. Are these numbers of a team that all of a sudden automatically found their way because of a firing of a manager? He went in one day and he pressed a different button that all of a sudden worked? Or is there something more afoot here about the way the Phillies played under Rob Thompson for 28 games and the way they played under Don Mattingly for 19? Star Wars says, and one for Dusty. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Star Wars. 18 games for Don Mattingly and 1 game for Dusty Waffle. Yeah, Holiday 2010. Yeah, that's what I thought. Before that, it was Bedrosian. Before that, it was Denny. Yeah. Then it was Lefty, right? I know my stuff. So where do you account for the big turnaround? Is it the opponents that the Phillies have played under the Mattingly regime? Or is it something else? Let's go to the phones. Joe, how you doing?
I'm good. Can I start off with a point? I see Eagles beating Seattle. Seattle is going to be beatable this year. They lost free agents like everybody else in the league.
Okay. I mean, listen, as I said, I think the season comes down to that stretch of games. It comes down to Seattle, Houston, and San Francisco.
I'm okay with the Eagles going to Jackson overseas. I'm not going to make an excuse, but I noticed, and I'm going to say about the NFL, it's not just the Eagles that have to go from overseas. Who is it? The Rams go overseas. You know that, right?
Twice.
Yes. And that Christmas Eve game is time subject to change. It's not definite.
Well, we'll see. If it doesn't change, well, hang on. What's the Christmas Eve lineup? Like, where are the other games?
I'm not sure.
Let me bring it up. Real quick. Christmas Eve 2026 NFL schedule.
I know
the Eagles they're not the only game in town.
No, they're not.
Maybe they are. Okay.
Christmas
Man.
game here too.
What's that?
I know there's like 2 Christmas games this year again.
Actually, they are the only game in town on Christmas Eve.
So maybe they can flex that until like a 1:00 game. Or
I wouldn't do 1:00. I do like 3 or 5. That's
But
okay. Not
not-
8:15.
Yeah. What are you gonna tell the kids that like to watch the Eagles game? Oh, you have to go to bed.
Well, listen, most kids want to go to bed on Christmas Eve, yes, but I mean, what are you going to tell dad? You know, hey, it's time to put the gifts together. No, man, come on, it's about to go to overtime. That's what I'm thinking of, you know, because I've had small children. I understand what that Christmas Eve is a whole other, after they go to bed, it's a whole other thing, but it's just tone deaf. It's not only tone deaf to the people watching, it's tone deaf to the people who are working these stadiums and these players and these coaches that are, you know, what the hell, man? We get it. You know, it's the entertainment business. Yeah, but come on, man. No one cares about football at 8:00 at night on Christmas Eve. We can set that aside for one night.
So, you think the Eagles aren't making the playoffs? I'm going to beg to differ. I think 11 wins the division.
As I said, I am not officially predicting the Eagles not to make the playoffs. So I'm not officially predicting anything right now. It's too early. But to me, the crux of this season comes down to Seattle, Houston, and the 49ers. I think the Eagles are 8-5 heading into that stretch, and it comes down to those 3 games and what they do with those 3 games and how they are at that time. Could they come out of that, you know, with 11 wins? Yeah. Could they come? I could also see them coming out of that with 3 losses as 8-8. I really could. To me, it boils down to those 3 games and how all that works out.
I love how they play Washington week 1.
It's a very important game.
Because it shows you what the offense will look like with no preseason games. Are they?
But so I remember last year I bitched about the same thing. You know, we could have had a Super Bowl rematch. Oh no, we couldn't have, because we were on the road. They went to Kansas City. When we opened them against Dallas, I thought that was the wrong thing to do. 1, you're blowing an Eagle Cowboy game that early. 2, I am not in favor of any divisional games to start the season. That's not fair to either team, honestly, because of the way these teams handle preseason.
So, you know what else I noticed about this Eagles schedule? There's only 1 4:00 game. Well, 2 4:00 games at home. You notice that?
I see the Pittsburgh game
And Washington.
and then the opener. Right now, that could be things might flex as the season rolls by. And then you got a 5:00 game on that Saturday against the Seahawks at home. Yeah. I mean, listen, the NFL did not do the Eagles any favors in terms of the way the frequency of this schedule. And does this type of schedule with all this traveling, what a week 11 bye? Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, week 10 bye? I mean, the older offensive line, they barely got to week 6 last year. How's the offensive line hold up to going 10 straight games into the season without a bye?
I guess we'll all find out like the rest of us, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is not an easy schedule in no stretch of the word. And but yeah, I mean, is there a pathway to 13 wins? There is, to me. I can see that. But I think there's also a pathway to 9 losses.
So is it Thursday you're gonna make your predictions?
Yeah, like Thursday, August the 29th.
Okay.
Yeah, no, me and Kyle's show on Thursday is a mid-season, off-season check-in. We don't talk. We'll do our prediction show right before the season starts.
I got you.
Yeah.
So the next topic, the fight in Phillies.
Fight the Phillies.
Don, the baseball genius Mattingly, and Harper is starting to show why he needs to be paid. The showman is stepping up. What is it? Homers in 3 straight games for him?
Massive home runs too. Dead center field jobs, man. No doubt about it. Home runs. Yeah, no, it's been nice.
And boom, what a deep web gem today.
Well, the play that he threw the runner and the guy was safe, or what are you talking about?
The other one that he got.
Oh, down the line. Yeah, that was a good play. Yeah,
I noticed they wanted to get Topper out of there. They quit on Topper.
Okay, Joe, let me ask you this, because I'm not sitting here telling you you're wrong. When did they quit? At the end of last season or some point this season?
Some point this season.
So you think they were okay going back into 2026 with Rob Thompson, even though now we're talking 3 straight postseasons of not being able to, for whatever reason. Now there's 2 sides you can look at, the player side and the manager side, right? Yeah. The manager tells them to do things, the players don't do it, or they do it. But maybe some of the players were getting a little tired of some of the things, how they were being run. Maybe some of the decisions in game were like, come on, man, again, we're doing this or whatever. So you think it happened in season?
Yes.
I think it happened at the end of last season.
And I'm going to tell you accountability. Donnie speaks accountability because look at the errors now.
4 to 19.
Yeah.
But there's no way you can listen. That might be the biggest stat that I'm having a hard time trying to figure out. Like all this is that you don't go from committing 19 errors to committing 4 errors because the manager changed. There's something else to that.
Maybe they had a rally, like a player only meeting before Matt only took over, like.
Yeah, I mean, they could have. I don't know, but I'm thinking something else. And I hate to think this way, and I hate to say that they were throwing games. I'm not necessarily going to say that they're throwing games, but I'm having a hard. I'm waiting for someone to explain how you go from 19 errors to 4. I just want to know.
Look at the box score. I don't know. Ask someone that works at MLB.
I need to find out why that changed so drastically.
So, and then we'll get to I got a Flyers point. So does Toronto decide who gets that pick?
What do you mean? Because
doesn't somebody else in the Toronto pick? Boston owns it too, right? Like who decide?
What pick are you talking about? The 27 pick or the 26 pick?
27 pick. Boston.
That pick was traded to the Flyers for Scott Lawton.
So why was somebody complaining about Boston getting it?
I have no idea. I have not heard that.
They can defer Boston or Philly. That's what it was on.
It makes no sense to me. I never heard anything like that before, but I'll check it.
It was on the NHL draft lottery. They were talking about.
Is this another Eric Lindros that we're going to have to pull names out of a hat? I mean, come on, man. What are we doing here? No, I don't know. No, I haven't heard that. I'll check into that. But as far as I know, the Flyers own that pick outright from the Scott Lawton trade. Now, Toronto won the number 1 overall pick in this year's draft. Maybe that's what they're talking about. I don't know. I'll look into that.
No. I think Flyers go at I think they go out and spend money in free agency. And the Kozlov deal, I think he gets traded.
I don't know who you trade him for, Joe. He's a minor league guy. You're going to be trading him for another minor leaguer. He hasn't earned anything in the NHL. He's not part of any. He doesn't really fit unless somebody else is seeing something else from him. I don't understand that trade. I don't understand. I do understand that signing, and I hope I'm wrong, but it might have something to do with the development of Carson Bjornsson, which is more concerning.
Well, is one of them still overseas?
Igor Zarajan is, yes.
Maybe that's why.
But I think he's coming over this fall. I think he's done. His contract's up.
Okay.
I'll look into that.
I'm okay dealing Luchenko. And then
so and Michkov, honestly.
Yeah, I think they're gonna build around Martin. And I think they're gonna sign Seagrass and when do they start? When is the draft first or is it free agency?
Free agency. July 1st is the start of the RFA period.
Do you think the Flyers make a big move?
Tell me who. So I don't see anybody that fits their timeline in free agency.
How
I see
about
older players. I see older players that can be brought here to help cement something.
I'm okay with that on a tier deal with older players.
Yeah, but we still don't have a true number one centerman. All right, I need that guy. I'm tired of going 8% for the power play in the playoffs. All right, we need that guy. I don't need a 38-year-old Tarasenko running around the ice. I need a younger player. I need someone that I can say, this is the guy. He's our guy. We need him.
So you sign people and then you go out and make trades.
I think it works the opposite way. I think you trade for your pieces that you really need, and then you sign the complement pieces around that.
Okay. I think Danny Beer knows what he's doing.
I don't know. We'll see.
Or
he's in uncharted territory, Joe. He's never done this before.
We're going to find out.
Yeah, we are.
Or is it who else is with the Flyers? They keep well, I think it's Pronger in his ear too, saying, "Go get me a defenseman, a better defenseman than Drysdale." I'm okay with that too.
Yeah, and that's why Josh McCabe would fit that mold for me. But I'm going to reveal that second trade here in a minute as soon as we're done with our call.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
All right, Joe. Tomorrow night.
I might not be on, but okay.
All right. Well, I'll be here tomorrow and Tuesday, so please stop in. All right, man?
Yep.
All right. Joe Hale. All right. So let's go into some of these. Washington week 1. Yes, sir, indeed. You don't like early season division games in football, and I just like interleague games in September in baseball. Yeah, I think it all should be divisional games in September. I don't like divisional matchups in football in September or week 1. I miss September division grind. Yeah, exactly. I would prefer all divisional games in September. I think they gave up when they heard Thompson wasn't fired. I listen. I think you might be on to something, Elephant. And I hate to say it, but Castellanos on the way out of town said some things that at the time were taken as a shot at the Phillies from a disgruntled player, but I think he might have been speaking the truth a little bit by saying the players respond better to a manager who's played at the MLB level. I think there's some truth to what he said. And who knows how many people shared that sentiment. So I agree with you. All right, before I get to the next call, I do want to reveal my second John LeClair trade. Again, this is all based off of what the Flyers did back in 1995 when they were struggling out of the gate during that strike-shortened season. Eric Lindros was starting to round into form. He was playing on the crazy 8 line with Mark Recchi and Fedoruk, and things were looking up. But they come out the gate in that strike-shortened season like 2-7-1. Bobby Clark is like, oh, no, I got to save this already shortened season as it is. We can't go down the rabbit hole any further. So they traded their only other offensive commodity not named Eric Lindros, which was Mark Recchi, to the Canadiens for John LeClair, who at that time was a 20-25 goal scorer, very competent second, third line guy. And Eric Desjardins, who was the on the second line of defensemen. He wasn't even up there at the top, which obviously turned out to be potentially the greatest trade in Flyers history. John LeClair paired up with Eric Lindros, turned into a 50-goal scorer, and Eric Desjardins turned into one of the greatest, if not the greatest, defenseman in Flyers history. It is time for Danny B to have one of those moments. And I've taken Travis Konechny as my Mark Recchi, essentially, in this equation. Because right now, if you look about the offensive sort of, I don't know, resumes of our players, Travis Konechny is the best one we have. For whatever that's worth at this time, at this level. And I do know that he has a no trade clause for the first, or no movement clause for the first 6 years of his contract, and we're only 2 years into that. But he could always waive it. The first trade proposal was him and Ristolainen going along with that first round pick that the Flyers got from Toronto back to Toronto for Austin Matthews and Josh McCabe. Now, my second pick, or my second trade, is a little bit more daring. And here it is. I am proposing that the Flyers trade Travis Konechny, Jet Lachenko, Cam York, and that 2027 first-round draft pick to Vancouver for Elias Pettersson and Zeev Boom. It was the fourth player taken in the draft 2 years ago. Pettersson once again provides you that face of the franchise. Vancouver's rebuilding. They don't need him anymore. I am offering a boatload of young players and a draft pick to help them in their rebuild. I'm taking a face of the franchise centerman in Elias Pettersson and also a young developing defenseman. I'm taking a risk on Boom. He has not really blossomed at this level, and it might be because he's playing in Vancouver. But this helps me out, and it also, again, I think it really helps out Vancouver, right? I get what I want, and that's my number one centerman. I don't know why the hell we're so adverse to bringing a number one centerman here. I mean, it helps me out, and I get another young defenseman that I can sort of kind of mold into the system that we're running here, pair him in there with Bonk. I think Cam York is never going to blossom into what I wanted him to be. I had him pegged as the next Mark Howell. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but he's still really good. He could carve out a really good career in Vancouver. Jet Lachenko and Travis Konechny, again, to me, that's a first-round draft pick. Hey, it's a start. It's a start for Vancouver. And the Flyers get what they need. So, which of those trades do you like better? Or what trades of your own would you prescribe? But that to me is my John LeClair trade for Danny B. The kickstart, this not so much even the rebuild anymore. We can't call it a rebuild anymore. To take them to a different level. All right, let's get back to the phones. Mike.
Yo, what up, Matty? How you doing?
What's up, man? How are you?
So I'm gonna go way off what you were talking about. Bob Myers is running the Sixers.
On an interim, he's there to help out find the next guy.
He's. Did you read the article? He's gonna make the decisions.
He is.
This is a guy who's won four titles.
Yeah.
He helped draft Green and Curry and Thompson. He knows talent.
Yeah.
He knows talent.
Yes, he does.
I mean, and he's done something more he hasn't done. Like I just said, he's won world championships. He's never done that. 4 of them.
No. Yeah.
Without Durant. He won without Durant just to prove they could win one without Durant. When they did that already before, when Durant left, they had to win another one because people were like, oh, they couldn't win another one without him. They did. I mean, it's the best thing to happen to that team. Now they just got to get rid of Nick Nurse and get rid of Joel and figure out the the Paul George situation.
Nurse is coming back right now. They said he's coming back. Elton Brand, where's he at? Is he going to be fired too? Please.
No, you know why? Look. Elton's being real quiet because maybe they'll forget about him and he's just getting checked.
Yeah, I'll just slide in my office every day like I've been doing for the last 4 years and just sit there. No one's going to notice, and I'll be fine. Yeah,
I mean, for all probably Elton's faults. I mean, he's probably he's probably one of them guys. He's just a good worker there. He does his job and don't complain. I mean, that's probably what they, Now, to be honest with you, he says interim. But, look, when you got the itch, you get the itch.
But does he have the
itch? The itch. I think he does. I think he does.
Why did he step away in the first place then?
Over there? I don't know if it was him or maybe it was a parting of the ways. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe he just figured he couldn't. What else could he do? He won 4 titles.
That's what I'm saying. Now he's working with the Josh Harris, Wolf Blitzer, whatever they are, sports entertainment group. I mean, he's probably making a boatload of money over there without the pressure and all that.
Remember, didn't he help draft Jaden McDaniels? He was part of that. Yeah. That's my point. The guy knows talent.
Yeah.
It might be the best thing for the Sixers. I mean, look, there has to be a shining light somewhere in that organization. I mean, right? Yeah, but I'm just saying, this guy's been out there for all them years, and at least Josh is smart enough now, to say, "Will you help me?" I mean, because we're going into a draft. It's like supposedly a really good draft, and yeah, well,
we don't have anybody to really draft anybody. Yeah, we don't even have the people in place right. You're not going to let Elton Brand make that pick. There's no way in hell that's happening.
No, but I'm saying, you think look under Morey. He drafted Maxey and VJ. That was it, and he traded that one guy away to the Suns. Whatever he traded, McCain. Yeah. So that's it. I mean, Morey does have an eye for talent in the draft. He just doesn't. He gets so fixated on free agents, and he's so fixated on what James
he thinks
Harden.
is right.
James
Harden.
That's it.
That was all he wanted to do while he was here, was get him.
That was his man crush.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Oh, Cleveland smoked Detroit in the game 7s. Cleveland and the Knicks.
Wow, the Knicks are going to the finals, huh?
Well, no, Cleveland versus the Knicks. They have to play each other.
Knicks are going to the finals. The Knicks
the West is going to win.
OKC, one of those two teams is going to actually obliterate somebody from the East. It doesn't really matter who they play. It really doesn't.
And you know what the worst part about it all is? If Joel could stay healthy and Paul George can stay healthy, I think they were this year, because of Boston's faults. They were the only team I think they could go with that East, go against the West, because of when Joel's healthy. I mean, the guy's going to give you 30 and 12 a night. You know what I mean? So you just don't have to say, he's not healthy, he ain't playing. If he was playing every game, I thought it could be a difference, but you can't depend on him now. I mean, it's a shame. It's a shame the guy has all the talent and just injuries just riddled him, man. And the Sixers are the dummies who should just let him walk and just. But basketball is a weird sport. You know this. If you go from good to bad, it could take you 10 years to get back to good.
Yeah, I can, and it's not a fun ride, and we know that more than anybody else. The thing about Joel Embiid, and you mentioned it, we still have 3 years left of his. I think his extension starts next year. His 3-year deal.
Yeah, but it'd probably be cheaper. It'd probably be easier to get rid of him if you had to.
Probably easier to get rid of Paul George at this stage.
I heard that's a bonus. I heard that Sacramento might be looking to get rid of. I take Sabonis. I like Sabonis.
Who would you move out there, though? Who would you think Sacramento's going to want? It's going to either be George or Embiid. It's one of them.
That's what they said, Joel.
I do it. I don't know if they actually do it, but I do it in a heartbeat too.
I mean, you might have to throw your, whatever, but I mean, you have to maybe get a third team involved. That's a good thing. Basketball is hockey the same way? Can you do three team trades in there? Because basketball's the only sport I see it does it. Okay, so football don't do it. Baseball don't do it. No, only the other two sports do it. And that's the smartest way to do it, because that's how you offset money too.
Yeah,
and everything. Now let's get to the Phillies.
Yeah, let's get with the Phillies. Let's talk 15-4 under Don Mattingly, 9-8, 9-18 under.
How many games out first place?
I saw earlier it was 8.5.
Oh, okay, just wondering. Oh, and they're like number 6 or number 7 in wild card, because the whole Central Division.
They're 3.5 out of the wild card. But listen, Kaepernick, hang on. How do you go from a team that committed 19 errors in 28 games to a team that's committed 4 errors in 19 games?
That team gave up on Robbie 3 years ago. What are you talking about? Robbie has that control. Okay. He has that control. That team
giving up on Rob Thompson? Is that giving up?
I don't know about giving up. I think they just
fearing any kind of accountability.
Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, they fear nothing. What were they going to fear? Especially, look, as soon as Bryce turned around and said, "My bad," it didn't even have to go that far. Everybody from the first person to the 26 man on that bench or whatever, how many? We're good. We're gold. That's all we gotta say to them. That's the problem. See, there's a time you got to be their friend, and there's a time you got to be their manager. It's just like a parent, friend, parent. You can't be the parent. You can't be the friend all the time. Sometimes you got to be the person who's got to lay the hammer down, not in a bad way, but you know what I mean. You got to lay the law down. This is how it's got to be. Blah blah. We can bullshit all the time, but I'm still your manager. You got to listen to me. You can't just walk over me, and that's what happened. I like Mattingly, but he's still got some Robbie 2.0. He's still a little 2.0. I mean, when Turner's, he's got to put Schwarber number 1. Harper 2, Garcia 3. I'm like, what Crawford? My God, this guy's he's got leadoff hitter written all over him, and he won't do it.
No, and it's all because of Schwarber.
I'm glad they're doing real well, and I've said this before. I say it to my friends. I probably said it to you. In spite of the moves or non-moves by any of these managers, this team could accidentally win 85 to 90 games with the talent they got.
No, but they're a playoff team. They are.
They're playing really well. They are, and I give them all the credit in the world. I mean, Bomb's up to 210 or whatever he left. He was at 210. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
209. Yeah, no, it's up.
Yeah, but he's above the Mendoza line. I mean, is it where we want him to be? No, but I mean, now Joe. Look, I love you, Joe Hale. Let's slow down. Harper get more money. Okay,
no, I'm not talking about that either. That's foolishness. There, no Harper. No, come on. I need to see it from Harper all year and clutch. I need to see it clutch from Harper all year before that thought even enters my mind. I agree with you.
After the CBA, whatever all that stuff is, if they don't go and strike Dugal, when all that's settled down, that's when you'll hear Harper cry for more money. As soon as he knows that money goes up, Harper, he's going to want the money. And the Phillies, if they were smart, I don't know if you can give a guy a raise without giving him an extension. I would not. If they extend this guy, they better have in the bottom half of that thing, like the bottom years, he's tradable. Otherwise, you're stuck with a guy in his 40s making, what, $35-40 million? He don't care if he's hitting one home run, batting .99. I'm getting $40 million. And he ain't going to give it back.
No, he's not. And but i.e. the Aaron Nola situation, that's starting to really be looking like one of the worst contracts in Phillies history right now. We got 4 more years of him. I'm
going to say this. Zach Wheeler's impressed me a lot. I didn't think he would be where he is this fast, coming back. You know what I mean? Even after the stint in the minor leagues, I thought it would still take a couple games. But this team plays differently when he's on there. I mean, is he the leader of the team? It seems like it. He comes back, and that whole thing just changes. The whole atmosphere.
It did, and but again, so here's another number I want to throw out at you. With Rob Thompson and with Don Mattingly. So through the first 28 games, the Phillies were batting .221 with runners in scoring position, right, under Rob Thompson. They were also allowing their opponents to bat .272. Under the last 19 games under Mattingly, the Phillies are batting .312 with runners in scoring position, and their opponents are batting .203.
Yeah, now the .312, because I think what him is, he's putting runners in motion. They're stealing some bases. I see a couple hit runs. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they're I mean, maybe this year more than anything is more stress. Maybe they feel more stress. Maybe they were feeling a little more stressful, even though we think they shouldn't have been. But because of no, Robbie might get fired. Who's going to come in as manager? It didn't have to be Mattingly. It could have been anybody walking through that door. I mean, and then, you start worrying about stuff. People start worrying about. I mean, some players start worrying about their jobs. You know what I mean? Bomb, Stott. We can't kill Marsh. Is Garrett Stubbs still on the team?
Yeah, he's still there.
I heard something the other day about him that they said, I seen something in an article how he's this defense, he's throwing out players, playing great defense. I'm like, oh God, it's bad.
He's there to be the pitcher in the 9th inning when they're getting blown out. All right, that's all the hell he's there for.
Well, I sure as hell know he ain't the guy come up the bottom 9 with 2 outs and bases loaded. No. I mean, he could be.
That would revolt.
I look. Even though Paul Skeens got killed today,
listen, I don't think he got killed today. This is what happened to Paul Skeens today.
What I mean is, you know what I'm saying.
This is a stroke of genius to the Phillies. Listen, the Pittsburgh Pirates stink. Okay, they're a young team. They got no offense. And the Phillies were smart. They wore Skeens down. They drove up his pitch count, man. They were selective. They were doing what they had to do. They knew they weren't going to be able to get to him in the first 3 or 4 innings, but they drove up that pitch count. Pittsburgh did nothing offensively. And then when Skeens broke, they took advantage of it. That was, that's all that was. I'm not saying Pittsburgh's offense would have carried them in that game, but it would have been better than 6-0. And who knows what you would have had. Maybe they go to the bullpen earlier, to try to protect the lead. I don't know, but that's what that was for me. This is the reason why Paul Skeens needs to leave the Pirates, because all the games like this that he basically just wears down and he has no offense and he ends up losing.
I'm telling you, I'd open up the farm. I wouldn't care if that's Philadelphia Phillies, fucking west or east, where the hell it goes out that way. I don't give a shit. I'd open the farm up, because here's the thing. You got him under control for years. Zach Wheeler says he might not retire. He might retire in 2000. This guy just slides in as your 1 or 2 behind with Sanchez and Luzardo. You don't lose them. All you're getting is a guy who's 23 years old. 23. The guy hasn't even – he's still in a diaper. He still isn't even – he hasn't scratched what he can do. If he got on a team that averaged 4 runs a game for him, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
He might be like LeBron or Ohtani, where they could get the MVP, every year, basically. Decide, for how good you pitch.
No,
I mean, it's just that's why I sit back and I'm like, that's why I always talk about, because the Phillies. What's going to happen is it's going. They can't go into a battle with the Dodgers. They can't go into a battle with any team with a minor league system. If they're winning, like even the Tampa Bay Rays, you couldn't battle with them dudes, because they got more talent. They grow more talent just as good as anybody in the league, and they got a payroll as small as my pinky.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's where the Phillies are at a disadvantage. So these other teams are going to throw more at them, and the Pirates are going to drive the price. It's going to be a price war. You know what I mean?
That's why you have to. That's why the Phillies, if they were smart, they start. You just talk and see. You just say, "What would you like?" I mean, if they say, "Look, Miller, Rincones, and Nori."
Done. I do it. I would do that.
I would.
I don't know what's going on, Miller, man. He hasn't touched a bat all year. I don't know.
It ain't doing that. No. Here's the thing. You're getting 3 guys who produced, even though Nori's produced in the World Baseball Classic. You know what I'm saying? You got 3 guys that are still. You don't know what they're going to bring to MLB. You don't have no clue if they're going to show up there. We know what Paul Skeens is going to show, unless he turns into like a Santana from the Twins, where he won 3 Cy Young awards and then fell off the face of the earth. But Paul Skeens, he reminds me of Max Scherzer, Zach Wheeler, John Smoltz. That's who he reminds me of.
He is that pitcher he is one of those pitchers for this generation. Absolutely, 100%.
And the thing is, he reminds me more of now Scherzer gets hurt as older, but when Scherzer was younger, it's just like Wheeler. These guys don't get hurt. They're bulldogs. And that's what that guy, man. Yeah, I watched him today, and I'm thinking in my head, man, this is an anomaly. I know they put runs up, they put runs up, 5 or 6 runs they put against him, but man, this guy's whatever team gets him, wow. They're if the Dodgers get him, man, that's bets off then.
I agree.
Put him with Ohtani 1, 2, and then whoever they get. I mean, I don't know. Now, real fast with the Eagles, I saw their schedule. Yeah, they got a brutal schedule this year. They got pretty brutal. Now, the good thing is the NFL didn't stick it to them by not having back-to-back home games like last year. They have a couple back-to-back home games this year.
I think it comes down to those 3 games. It's Seattle, Houston, and San Francisco back-to-back. The season to me comes down to those 3 games. Yeah,
I would put why not from Thanksgiving on?
They got Indianapolis sandwich in there. They got Arizona in there. I'm talking. There's 3 games right there. I think you get to that gauntlet area at 8 and 5, and then from there, it's the pivot point for the rest of the season. It could go 11, 12, 13 wins, or it could go down to 8, 9. It could go 9 losses. You know what I mean?
So
I just think it comes down to that point. You know what I mean?
Well, Chris Long, he ripped, I guess, the NFL for scheduling the Cowboys-Eagles, saying, what did the Cowboys deserve to be on Thanksgiving? Well, here's the thing. What did the Detroit Lions for 45 years of life deserve to be on Thanksgiving?
They've always been on Thanksgiving. I've never known the Cowboys to be on. That's their thing. It's like a tradition. Yeah.
But he was ripping when I read a thing. But that we talked about it. It's all going to come down to Jalen Hurts. Can he run the offense?
That's it. That's what it boils right down to.
Here's something before I go. What's this new rumor? I heard the Jacksonville Jaguars supposedly could offer more to the Eagles for Brown.
Yeah, Michael Thomas is one of the names that they're throwing out there. Yeah, I heard that today too. Where I was the other day, I heard that.
You know what's good about this? Because if New England wants them, now they got to up the ante. I'm sure
he's been doing that for months now. Has been price gouging and driving up the price.
Is it Michael Thomas? That's Brian Thomas, right? I think it's Brian Thomas. Brian Thomas. He's the wide receiver, right?
Yep, he's the wide receiver.
Now, is he a 1 or 2 there?
Well, I think with Travis Hunter, Hunter got hurt. I think he was the 1, and I think obviously the plan was to get Travis Hunter to be the 1. But now, if you have an AJ Brown, he'd be the 1, and Travis Hunter would eat that kid that they picked up last year from Colorado in the draft.
Okay.
He goes both ways. He plays both the way. He plays cornerback and wide receiver. He got hurt.
Yeah.
That would be a great trade for Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence.
Well, how is that kid Brian Thomas? How is he as a wide receiver? Is he out or no? Yeah,
he's like a bigger version of Devontae. He's a bigger version of him.
Production wise,
he's productive. He'd be the down the field guy.
Okay, because I'm not sold on their quarterback out there.
Trevor.
He's kind of like Jalen in a sense, you know what I mean? If you can't produce with the talent around you, you need to be out of there. That's what's got to be this year. The Eagles got to make that decision. If he can't produce what they got around him, I think it comes down to, look, we all know he can't read. He don't go through his progressions very fast. That's where I think the most problems are going to come in. Because now you're going to tell this guy to have him try to do something he can't do.
I don't know how he's going to run a West Coast offense when he can't go through progressions or read defense.
That's it. Really that's all I'm getting. Yeah. It's going to be. He can read the defense. He just don't. He goes so slow. He don't like look. He don't look off guys fast or nothing or whatever. He's just so slow going through his. And the other thing is, I think I've said this to you, is he's an RPO quarterback. That's the toughest part. Like it's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. It ain't going to happen. I don't think. I think the Eagles. Okay, if it's a good year, I think they win 12 games. I mean,
that would be one more than they won this year.
I think it's, but that's a good year. You know, I'm just saying on a good year. I mean, to win the division, I think. Look, I don't know where Washington, because if they ain't got a running back, they're done. I think it comes down, the Giants. Because look, with John Harbaugh, look, you already upped that. They already upped it, and they got that running back coming back, and Neighbors coming back, and they're working on the offensive line, so they're going to get better. The Eagles have to step it up now. I mean. It's just I don't know. I think it's going to fall apart mid-season. I just think that I do. No, I what I mean that like I think it's just. I know. I think it's just going to fall apart. Like especially if Jalen can't, if AJ ain't here, and then Jalen ain't getting he's not going through. Who are you blaming then? Who are you going to blame? I can't get to the receivers because Devontae might speak up then. Maybe this kid, Malik Lemon, or whatever his name is, Lemon, he speaks up, or Goat or somebody. People start speaking up like this guy,
We'll see. It's going to be interesting how this all comes together. All right, listen, Papernick, we'll talk tomorrow, man.
You have a good night. Are you on tomorrow night? I know.
I'm on tomorrow and Tuesday.
Okay. So I'll get on. All right,
man.
All right, you have a good night, Matty.
All right, Michael Papernick. Listen, the whole question around the NFC East is a very interesting one. He mentions the Giants and Jim and how Harbaugh. I think Harbaugh is definitely the coach that's going to bring the Giants back at some point. But you're asking a lot from them this year. I mean, Malik Neighbors is coming back from an injury. Jackson Dart is coming back too. I don't know if Dart, did he make it through the season? I know it. I don't think he did. I think he went down. He had like 9 concussions. And Cam Scatterbo had his leg blown up. I mean, completely just shattered, right? And I remember when that hit happened, it was against the Eagles. I thought, and I was a Scatterbo guy. I thought the Eagles should have drafted him. And he was there in the 3rd round last year. They should have got him, but he just runs violently, man. He's like no fear, goes into any goddamn hole, does whatever and but I don't know if he's going to come back the same guy. And in the world of the running back in the NFL, there's that millimeter difference there that you're just a touch slower or just can't rotate, a half a millimeter to the left or right, like talk to Carson Wentz about all that. So I don't know what he's going to be. If he comes back the same way that he was, yeah, they got something there. But as far as the Redskins go, I think they're the team that you got to keep an eye on the most because they're going to be coming out of nowhere and no one's going to be paying attention. No one's going to care. Dallas will be back. They'll challenge the Eagles as well. Are the Eagles the best team on paper in that division? Yes, absolutely they are. But we've seen stranger things happen, and I'm not going to crown the Eagles division champions in May. There's just no way. I'm not doing that because the Eagles are not coming into the season 100% like clicking on all cylinders either. All right, they're yet another new offensive system, another new offensive coordinator. They are going to be minus AJ Brown, which yes is a positive thing for them, but it's going to have some ramifications on the field that this team is going to have to figure out life without AJ. All right. So the Eagles are not clicking on all cylinders either. So every team in the NFC, it's just about every team in the NFL is walking into the season with questions. So I'm not going to crown the Eagles NFC East division champions in May. I'm not. So, in the schedule, I think the schedule is pretty tough. And not necessarily the opponents, but just the frequency of it. I mean, they're all over the place. And yes, they do get hooked up with all those home games, and that's good. But we'll wait and see how all that works itself out. All right, let's go real quick. Let's finish the show up with the of the night segment, and let's take this thing home here. So we have 3 players to go over tonight. Let's do it right now. All right, it's the other night segment. This is where we take a pause here and we go over some players, some draft pick prospects, talk about some team prospects. We are smack dab in the middle of the prospect season, honestly. We're talking NHL draft, we're talking MLB draft, and we're also speaking of Phillies prospects. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump in it. And we'll start off tonight with the Phillies prospect. Let's do that. And a player that was just mentioned, not by more than a few minutes ago by Michael Papernick, is the much coveted, much talked about Dante Nori. Obviously, the Phillies' first round draft pick in 2024, right? Yeah, 24. Nori came into the national lexicon by having a breakout World Baseball Classic for Team Italy as he helped them reach the semifinals. Nori currently is in Reading, and he's having a very good season as well. People are talking about moving him up to the major league level now. I don't think he's ready now. But Dante Nori is a face of the future. And so I said a face of the future and not necessarily the face of the Phillies' future. Because if a right-handed bat is coveted or another arm is needed or an upgrade at third base is warranted at the trade deadline, this is one of the names that will probably be mentioned as a trade. So interesting to see what Dante Nori's future is with this organization. I wouldn't trade him, especially with the uncertainty of Aiden Miller. I don't want to trade and lose 2 out of my last 3 years first round draft picks. So I don't know. Obviously his future with this team will not be in center field. That's a given. Left field is more like he'll be as a Philly. But definitely a good young prospect that has tapped into his power. This profile has him. One of the knocks on him coming out was trying to tap into that power. He has, and when I say tapping into power, I don't necessarily mean by hitting home runs, but power hitting line drives, gaps, all fields. He's starting to do that down in Double A, and he started doing that this spring in the WBC. But definitely a good young prospect. Phillies 2024 first-round draft pick, Dante Nori. All right, let's move to the MLB draft, and tonight we're going to speak of Mr. Cameron Flukie, the right-handed pitcher out of Coastal Carolina. Flukie maintains a mid-90s velocities on his heater deep into games. Wow. And tops out at 98 with arm side, run, and carry. That is very important. His high three-quarters arm slide allows him to stay on top of his upper 70s curveball, which has so much downward break that it can be hard to keep it in the strike zone. And his feet for spin also extends to a solid 82 to 85 mile-an-hour slider. His mid-80s changeup lags behind the rest of his repertoire, though its fade makes it through to hit when he throws it close to the plate. A good, we got a 6'6", 210 right-hander, probably a top 10 pick, just based on these profiles, the stuff here. Also pitches in a power conference, power team with Coastal Carolina. Was a World Baseball Series, or not World Baseball, but College World Series finalist last year. Does have the classic, not power thrower, but that I comp him to. Trying to think of some pitchers out there that might be a comp to what he is. I guess to go a little bit deeper into baseball history, he's got a build of a very reminiscent of Cole Hamels. I'm not comparing the two of them pitcher wise, but physically, that's what he kind of looks like to me. But a top 10 draft pick, nonetheless, in my opinion. So Cameron Flukie, a right-hand pitcher from Coastal Carolina, is our MLB draft prospect. And let's finish it up strong with our NHL draft. Pierce Mabui, the left winger from the Owen Sound Attack of the Ontario Hockey League, 5'11", 189 pounds. That right off the bat, that scares the hell out of me. Speed and physicality, plays a north-south physical game with legitimate speed and the ability to finish checks, scoring threat, elite power play scorer. Oh, God, help me. Led the OHL with 19 goals on the man advantage in the 25-26 season, capable of one-timers from the right face-off circle and quick breakaways. Can operate in multiple offensive zones, net, front, forechecks, weaves through traffic, or shooting. Great, but 5'11", 189 pounds scares the living crap out of me. But he is a North American hockey player, and he knows this game, knows the style of play. So there makes it a little bit easier for me to wrap my head around it. Obviously, when you're talking about a player who can be a power play difference maker, sign me up right now. He does have the ceiling of a mid-round first-round pick, more of the reality of a lower-round first-round pick. He could be there. I think the Flyers are at 23, 26, somewhere in there. He could be there in that range, but the size and the frame do concern me a bit. I'm not, I think the NHL, if we saw from last year's draft, a lot of 6'3", 6'4". Porter Martone himself is like 6'4". I think we're going back to more of the bigger player style. But if he's there, yeah, I take him. He's a project guy. He won't be a day one guy. He'll probably go back to the OHL next year and then work his way from there. But yeah, Pierce Mabui, I think that's how you say it, is our NHL draft prospect of the night. And that is our of the night segment for tonight, which will then take me to the end of our show on this Sunday night. Great to be back on the air on Sunday. Had some fun, got caught up, finally got an opportunity to get my Eagles schedule out there. Also, went over some Philly stuff. Question still remains is how does a team in certain subcategories like the Phillies, how do you go from such dramatic incompetency to such dramatic optimism in almost a flip of a switch? 19 errors to 4 errors. Batting 312, or was it, what I say, 3-0? Yeah, 312 with runners in scoring position versus batting, was it 221 under Rob Thompson? How do you do that? You could say opponents, yes, but it wasn't like Rob Thompson was stacked up against heavy, hot opponents, with the exception of the Braves. Did the Phillies quit on Rob Thompson? And when? And I think the consensus is they did. And I think the consensus is also Rob Thompson was not as beloved as everybody thought he was by the team. But the big question for me, and is this a moot point? A lot of people don't want to talk about this anymore. We just want to move forward. But not me. I want to know when it actually happened. I want to know when this team physically quit on Rob Thompson. I believe it was at the end of last season, when they found out that he was coming back. I think they said, you know what? The hell with this. We got to take matters in our own hands. I don't know. I would like someone to drive this story home, and maybe that'll be me. I'll continue to run this story down. But anyway, that's going to do it for me tonight. I want to thank everybody for joining me. Thanks to all the great people over at the Big Al's Excuse Emporium. Again, partners with me and the It's a Wrap Sports Network now going on 2 years, and so I want to wish them a happy anniversary. It'll be like mid-June when we get there, but we released a new commercial today for them, and we revel in their success, and we're happy for their success. So here's the Big Al's Excuse Emporium. Once again, this is what's happening on this network this week. Make sure that you're checking us out. Tomorrow it'll be the Phillies Reds. Mike Lauro will be on the call, and then I'll be back here at 10 o'clock with the final word. And then everything else. Also, circle Thursday on your calendar. You get a double blast of me. The Birds Blast at 4 p.m. Me and Kyle Quinn will renew our acquaintance for a 7th season of the Birds Blast, or a show that it's not been called the Birds Blast for 7 years, but we did a Birds Blast type show for 7 years, an Eagle pregame show. And we're going to renew acquaintance on Thursday, unofficially start season 7 of the program. And later on Thursday night, me and Mike Lara will be back, and we'll be talking nothing but Flyers, as we'll wrap a bow on the season and we'll start taking a look at what the Flyers should do in the upcoming offseason. So a lot to look forward to on the network. Until we talk again tomorrow, you guys have a great rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you tomorrow night.